It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Good morning and a happy Monday to you. I am Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning. Happy Monday indeed. I'm Philip Simon.
And of course, it's our pleasure to be with you on this Monday. We hope that you have enjoyed the weekend, that you're looking forward to a great week. Phil, many schools return today. Most of them, I think, in a virtual format at this stage, but certainly, Phil, the summer is done. Not officially from a calendar perspective. I think it ends on September 22nd, but certainly based on the way that we categorize it here in the Bahamas with the return of school.
Yeah, no doubt. Summer's done in that regard. I think a lot of students, well, those who aren't going virtually, the schools have them kind of set up, 50% attendance. Summer's done in that regard, but from a heat perspective, we still in the midst of it, right?
We're definitely still kicking in the heat perspective. Phil, have you been keeping up with Hurricane Ida? Any words or updates? Yeah.
I haven't. You look at the maps, you see them all the time. We've had a flurry. It seems like a flurry of storms over the last month or so. And, I know that people are praying, right? Because a lot of them are kind of just slipped to the west, and then the other ones kind of slipped to the east. And, we're very prayerful with, of the avoidance of any types of major storms or hurricanes in the Bahamas.
Yeah. I was checking just to see whether or not there have been any other updates. We do know that it made landfall last night into Louisiana. It had, weakened a tropical storm after it got in there, and I'm sure glad people share some more on that. We do know that the power went out. Not yet much word on what the damages look like, or whether or not there have been any casualties. We continue to pray for Louisiana as they continue to endure, and just whole and prayerful that we might be able to get out of this hurricane season unscathed. Right? We have so many other things happening in this country that really is not one more that we want to add to the plate.
Yeah, I hope we get out of this election season unscathed, man. People on the streets. Listen, it's one of the hardest parts about this season is trying to pick what colors to wear, right? I mean, I was standing in my closet, no jokes, for about 15 minutes trying to figure out what kind of tie to wear, who's wearing what colors. I said I don't want to give no impressions and no affiliations with nobody.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, guys. This is no affiliation. I assure you, I did not think of it at all, and that's because it's so it's not that it's far from my mind, but that can tell you that I really, guys, this color has no associations. If you see me in anything over the next few weeks, I will try to be as alert as Phil. It did not even occur to me that I was wearing a color this morning. And I don't think we're going to escape unscathed, Phil, because already I think people have been traumatized by the amount of signs that they see all over the roadways. But nevertheless, we look forward to, I think there's 17 more days to go before we get either a returning administration with probably some new rules in terms of ministers, or a new government entirely. And so we're going to see what happens there. But we got a great show lined up for you today.
Yeah, we're continuing our focus on education series this morning, talking about ministry support services. We'll also talk to young Bahamian artist Rashad, Adderley, and Dr. Ramphal, who'll join us to talk about lung cancer screening.
Exciting lineup. Mike Sant is also here to recap how the NACAC athletes did at the Olympics. And Hubert Edwards is here along with Dr. Vindell Kerr. They're going to be discussing an upcoming workshop on corporate governance. All this and more. But before we get to any of it, let's take a first check on weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Star, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at the weather, sunrise, weak high pressure ridge across the islands, along with some Sahara dust, will dominate the weather through Thursday. Today, a lovely day in store weather-wise, partly sunny, hot, and humid, with a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm popping up. High temperature 91 degrees Fahrenheit, heat index 104. Tonight, few clouds, still on the warm side. Chance of 1 to passing showers, late night little thunderstorm. Low going down to 76 degrees Fahrenheit. And some vision highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 87 and 78. In Jamaica, 88 and 76. In Trinidad, 86 and 78. And the Texas Islands, 91 and 77. Across North America, Atlanta, 86 and 72. In Raleigh, 94 and 74. In Miami, 90 and 78. Dallas, Texas, 88 and 76. And Toronto, Canada, 82 and 73. As you go to the next 5 days, high pressure continue to dominate the weather across the islands. So we're looking at partly sunny skies, still hot and humid, and there's a chance of 1 or 2 showers popping up, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. So temperature daytime will be in the low 90s, at nighttime in the upper 70s. That's what you're up in your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Gossip Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you, Godfrey. Today in our Focus on Education segment, we discuss what the ministry does to ensure the well-being of its teachers, students, and employees. Here to discuss this with us, we're very happy to welcome Iris Strachan. She's the coordinator of the Employee Assistance Program, and she's also joined by Clevette Gibson, who's the coordinator for guidance and counseling. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, Ms. Strachan and Ms. Gibson.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you both with us. We love and are so indebted to the work that the Ministry of Education does. And to learn more about what you do for your teachers, I think is an absolute blessing for us all, right? To make sure that they're well taken care of. They do so much to take care of the youth of our nation. And so, Ms. Strachan, I'm going to get started with you. I wanted to find out, what is the work of the Employee Assistance Program?
Good morning again. The work of the Employee Assistance Program is to provide support services to the employee. And the reason for that is we want to ensure that they're always in good health so that they would produce their best. Okay, and so what we do is we focus on personal problems or work-related problems that might impede their ability to give their maximum.
And that's so important for employers and institutions to understand that, of course, we're not machines. We're human beings with real feelings and real issues. And when things happen, it can have an impact on what we do, no matter how we try. And so it's so good to know that you all have that. And so that's obviously one thing that you all do for teachers. What are some of the common issues that employees need help and support for?
And, that really depends. But one of those common issues would be, I want to say, stress management. And I say that because when we look at 2019, we're coming out of Hurricane Dorian, which really caused a lot of stress. And now 2020, 2021, it's COVID-19. And of course, dealing with so many different personalities in your classroom as a teacher, and dealing with your personal issues, that can also cause another level of stress, right? So that is one of the things that, one of the issues that we would deal with. Relationship issues with students, with employees, with their peers, with family. So any problems that, let's say, any person, and you can think of yourself, that you're dealing with, financial matters. We don't give you the money, but we might provide the services on how to maybe better manage, etc., that kind of thing. So any issue that you deal with in life, EAP is designed to address or to support you with.
Okay, so you have these services available, of course, and we hope the teachers would reach out and get the services, right? To know that they're not alone in this journey and they're there to offer help. And that's certainly a blessing. But for Ms. Gibson, how then do we kind of transfer the same sort of thing to our students? I think sometimes people don't think that young people have stress, but they do. Many of them live in very stressful environments. How does the guidance and counseling advocate for its students?
Correct. Our students, they sometimes have even more stress than the adults, but they don't have the maturity to deal with it. So your guidance counselor is there, and they help with the three basic areas: your personal, social, academic, and your career. The guidance counselor is actually the student advocate, and we do that through a lot of responsive services and intervention and even preventive services.
Okay, intervention and preventive, and I love to hear the word preventive. And I know some amazing guidance counselors. I think it's one of the most rewarding jobs, hopefully, for those who do it, but certainly one of the most impactful jobs for the students themselves. And so a big shout out to all the guidance counselors this morning. Ms. Gibson, I'd also like to learn more about your large classroom sessions and how you introduce students to counseling options.
Okay, so what we have is we call it classroom guidance. It's our large group guidance. What we do first of all is the counselor will maybe take a grade level and talk about regular issues: grief and loss, resilience, healthy relationships, time management. And from that large group of maybe 40-minute talk, the student then probably assesses the counselor and say whether or not this is somebody I'm gonna talk to. I'm gonna come to you one-on-one, or I have the issues, or maybe sometimes that's enough for them. But our classroom guidance is really the PR, and it gets the student to be able to trust the counselor with issues that they may have.
Okay, all right. And so it's just coming into this large setting, talking about things that may be relevant, and then kind of creating this rapport that allows the students to know that you have access to me and I can help you with these issues. I love it. Makes so much sense. All right. And so from Ms. Strachan, how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted, your teachers and your ability to help them, right? Because it's one thing if you can do, I guess, EAP by coming into the office and saying, okay, this is what I need help with, but it's another thing to be in a pandemic, doing virtual learning, managing your home. There's a whole layer of stress there itself. So how has that worked out for the EAP section?
Well, definitely that has pushed, the COVID-19 has pushed education and EAP services to another level. And so we have had to resort also to virtual sessions. Mm-hmm. And what we have had to do, we would have employed a lot of the preventative and interventive measures in terms of doing some very intense training workshops, talking about your self-care, inviting professionals to come in and to, well, I say come in, but virtually, of course, and to speak to our teachers. And their teachers and other employees have been forthcoming because it's not been easy for them. And they've been more willing to take care of themselves or to be more mindful and to understand that this is a learning process for all of us, okay? It's been a bit taxing for not just teachers, but even those of us who provide the support for teachers. But of course, all of us have to be mindful of our self-care. One of the things I think that has helped us is because Ministry of Education has been so supportive in, in these ventures, we've been able to do, quite a bit. For example, we employed something called EAP Talks that allowed some of our groups of teachers to really come in and share and talk about what they're feeling. All right, we've allowed professionals, psychiatrists and psychologists to share with our teachers on how to manage themselves, how to pace themselves, how to understand when they are overwhelmed and what to do to avoid depression, for example, and anxiety. All right, mm-hmm. So there are some of the things that we have been dealing with. And I think for the most part, more persons are more mindful of their well-being, and they understand that they are more than the profession or the professional, that they are actually the sum total of body, soul, and spirit. And they are now more, I guess, able to deal with themselves or take care of themselves.
Love it. Self-care being a big word for me. So appreciate you sharing that. Ms. Gibson, we do have to wrap up, but before we go, what kind of words do you want to leave with those that may need help? Both teachers that might need to seek EAP assistance, and then of course our students who might really be, again, with this pandemic, managing so much. What final words do you want to say to those persons?
My key word is resilience, and that is we could do this. We can do this. We've been planning for things like this all our life. Crisis is what counselors do. Students, you can always come to us. We're here, we're available, we're skilled, we're ready. We can do this.
We can do this. I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations to both of you on the work that you've been doing in the Ministry of Education, for your teachers to support them, for our students who, of course, definitely need your support and the support of their teachers. And we thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise and sharing. And of course, we wish you all the best in the new school year. Thanks again.
Thank you for having us.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties. Whatever they may be, we equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Here's to all the early morning breakfasts, to the last minute surprises, and a new friend for life. The year the sparks flew and we said, I do. Here's to the biggest table on the street, when family and friends come together. Milo Butler, your neighborhood store, a family tradition.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Really looking forward to this next conversation here. Demons Are Better Than Friends is the compelling title of Rashad Adderley's debut art show. Right out of the gun, he's jumping into some deep waters. Anyway, he joins us now here to discuss this on Bahamas at Sunrise, his craft as an artist. Good morning, Rashad. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having me.
My brother. Listen, the first one out of the gate, demons are better than friends. Let's tell me about that first before we jump into all about you.
Well, yeah, that one, it really is an intimate title. It's kind of a reference to demons being difficult parts of yourself or difficult circumstances that you end up having to face in life.
Okay.
And just a reference to how sometimes you learn more through difficult situations than you do when everything is easy. So sometimes demons are better than friends when it comes to helping you move forward in life.
Well, hey, okay, that makes absolute sense, right? I mean, failure sometimes has been the best teacher that we've had in our lives. Well, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, how did you get started in art?
Honestly, my earliest memory of drawing is when I was about 3 years old. My mother, she's an absolute superhero. She worked like 2 jobs to keep me and my brother just sane and alive and make sure we had everything we needed. And my big brother is older than me, so there was always an age gap. And a lot of times he'd be busy with his friends. Like, people these days wouldn't know, but like talking on the phone was kind of like WhatsApp back in the day. So he'd have the landline with multiple lines and all his friends would get together and they'd be having phone parties and stuff like that. So a lot of times the television was my babysitter. And I watched a lot of cartoons. I took in a lot of knowledge, got a lot of exposure to things that I wouldn't know necessarily. And I remember just forever being like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're talking your age a little bit, Rashad. I mean, listen, you're talking about that TV back in the day. If you could tell me when TV used to come on at 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, then I know exactly how old you are.
Hey,
But you know, what does it mean to then be an artist to you? I mean, you just closed the first show, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But what does it really mean to be an artist to you?
Well, I think art is deeply personal, but above anything else, it's a form of communication. I mean, just like words, someone can say the word air, and then it creates an image, and you can connect with somebody else and know exactly what they're talking about. Art is kind of a way of being authentically expressed. There's something inside you, whether you care about it, or if it's something you're responding to from the outside, or if it's something you're curious about. For me, being an artist means having a way to connect to people authentically for myself and being truly seen the way I want to be seen.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you talk about sometimes inspiration can come from a single word, right?
Yeah.
You know, so when you get into the zone, into the vibe, does it just come to you? I mean, is there a process that you go through, or is it just, here we go?
There is definitely a process that I go through to get to the point where I'm at now, and to want to have consistent results. You have to realize that you don't have control over everything, and inspiration is fleeting. So my process, personally, what I do is I'm inspired by things in my everyday life, but I also have a process of ideation where I do word associations to start off with. There's a couple steps in the process, but the first thing I do is I think about tangible and intangible things that I want to incorporate in my piece. I might come up with two words, like one is bright, the other one is castle. One is a feeling, the other one's a tangible thing. And then I just think about whatever words come to my mind next. And then from there, you kind of have an idea of maybe some physical things that you want to put in the image. You go and you do some research, you learn more about those things, you take an interest, and then you build from there.
All right. So what's next? I mean, you know, obviously, has this become a business for you? What can we expect next? And then for those people who are watching and you know, they want to, you know, they're seeing the pieces on the screen as we chat. You know, they want to contact you, but before you give the contact information, what's next for Rashad?
For me, at this point, what's next is just continuing to deepen myself. I have been in art-related jobs for more than 10 years, helping other people take care of their work. And this is kind of my first time being on the other side of that. So I'm really building a career now. And what's next for me is just continuing to make sure that I develop in a way that I feel is authentic.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So how can people contact you?
You can reach me directly through my Instagram. My Instagram is radderley09. And you can email me, and my email is the same address, radderley09@gmail.com.
All right. Well, Rashad, thank you so much for being here on Bahamas at Sunrise and explaining that title for me. I was like, wait, I can't wait to talk to this guy.
A lot of people get afraid when they hear about demons, but then when they understand where it's coming from, it's a lot more relatable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, wishing you every success.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
All right. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Since 1967, Freeport Oil Company Limited has been dedicated to fueling growth and prosperity in the Bahamas. We have been a constant pillar within the country, striving to invest and support our community through the best of times and the worst of times. For us, Full Call represents 21 years of strength and consistency, consistent leadership, consistent growth, consistent customer service. Through it all, we are resilient. Full Call, fueling growth for people.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Munish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonami.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Therese Nairn Knowles.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alpheus Alik,
Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the consultant surgeon here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the Director of Imaging at Doctors Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctors Hospital.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctors Hospital.
emergency room physician here at Doctors Hospital.
And I'm Clinical Director of the Emergency Transport Services and Continuing Medical Education here at Doctors Hospital.
I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I hope you are too.
Are you?
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 Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. The performances of the NACAC athletes, that is North American, Central American, and Caribbean athletes at the 33rd Olympiad were proof that NACAC is one of the strongest regions in the world athletics body. Here to discuss this with us is Mike Sands, president of NACAC. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, Mr. Sands.
Good morning and thank you for having me as always.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. We always just learn so much about what's happening with us in terms of track and field in particular. But NACAC amassed about 50 medals at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Give us the breakdown.
You're absolutely correct. The NACAC athletes has proven time and time again that they are the creme de la creme, if you will, of the Olympic Games. And the 50 medals that you speak about, we had 16 gold medals, 17 silver medals, and 17 bronze medals. There were about 8 countries that really medaled, that account for that total. And of course, I must tell you very proudly that the Bahamas is number 4 in the NACAC region with respect to medal performances.
Excellent, and congratulations to Team Bahamas. Certainly, we would have been so excited to see our athletes perform as they did. And while we're on this subject, we, of course, would have been standing with pride as our national anthem was played. And we would have seen your face, especially with the presentation to Stephen Gardner. You presented, I think, about 3 times at these Olympic Games. What was that feeling like for you?
Well, being a part of the Olympic movement in itself is always an honor. And then to be able to be in the stadium and to be an official part of the ceremonies, I was bursting with pride. And I'll tell you something, it was very, very, and I'll be less than honest if I didn't tell you that it was actually a little bit emotional myself standing behind that mask, standing next to Stevie, simply because I first of all, to hear the Bahamas national anthem play, that's the main thing. And then to be next to a young man like Stevie Gardner, who we all know from whence he come in the little island of Morris Island, and I'm watching him grow. And so for me, it was a very, very great honor to stand next to him and to hear and to share that moment with him. And of course, 45 minutes later, to hear the national anthem again through Shanae, I think the Bahamas really has so much to be proud and thankful for, that little small country, great athletes, that we continue to perform and make the country proud on the world stage.
Yeah, I don't think our nation has been prouder. I guess it happens at the Olympics. We win a medal and we all get excited. But to see these, our just total dominance at the 400 was particularly exciting. But you represent NACAC, so I'm not going to make it all about the Bahamas today. I do want to extend to the region as a whole. We take a look at those medal counts that you gave us, 17 silver, 17 bronze, 16 golds. And we know that this is another level of excellence. What do you think we can attribute that to as a region?
Well, first and foremost, it's that indomitable spirit of our people to succeed and to ensure that once they put their minds to do something with determination, that they will succeed. We don't like to take failure as an option, especially when we're performing in the front of a crowd of any sort for anything. And so we also must always give credit to the coaches. We have the best coaches, obviously, in the system that produces the athletes. And so I think credit must all go to them. But what is also very interesting, when we're speaking about the breakdown, every Olympic Games, especially, we always talk about the fastest man in the world. Well, this year, the women dominated the Olympic Games straight through. I mean, and they lived up to their billing, you know. So now the fastest woman in the world, you don't hear about the fastest man in the world anymore because of what has transpired. And if you look at it, it was the NACAC sweep. I mean, Jamaica did it, but NACAC did it. And so, you know, those are all the things that we have to be proud of. And speaking of our women accounted for 10 of those gold medals,
Wow.
eight silver medals, 8 bronze medals, and 27 finalists.
Wow.
Okay? 27 finalists. And in the process of the NACAC athletes' performances, there was 1 world record from a NACAC athlete, which was Cindy McLaughlin in the 400-meter hurdles. And there were 4 Olympic records, and there were 20 national records for overall in terms of the NACAC athletes' performance in the Olympic Games. And so we obviously, to build the base and to continue the growth going forward, we must continue to focus on our junior program because that's the next generation of athlete. And so to your question directly, what do we attribute it to? We have a very, very strong developmental program, which is our age group and our Carifta Games and our under 23 and the World Under 20 Championship. That's where the feeding ground is, and that's where we have to put our resources so we can get the return on our investment.
And you just came back from some of the under 20 games in Nairobi, Kenya. How did they go?
Yeah, we had the World Athletics Under 20 Games in Nairobi, Kenya. We had about 100 countries participated, about 1,000 athletes, and the performances are very, very well. I mean, despite the challenges of the pandemic, and you know, the pandemic did wreak havoc. A number of countries had difficulties getting there. I, for one, got stuck along with Team Bahamas, and I want to publicly thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because we actually had some challenges being stuck in Nairobi and in Johannesburg. And of course, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs came very, very quickly and was able to offer assistance and advice on how we were able to get ourselves out in a timely manner.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, we're happy you're back safe. You know, COVID-19 has certainly done a number on the world, especially athletics, I'm sure, not being able to see people in the stands, et cetera, things that you're used to as an athlete, but our athletes perform nonetheless. You hear that medal count and you know that they've done exceptionally well. What's next for NACAC athletes?
Well, we actually have about 3 more events to take place this year. We have the age group championships in Nicaragua, then we have the Junior Pan American Championships, and we have the Junior Pan American Games. So one is in Chile, one is in Cali, Colombia, not in Nicaragua. So the season is not yet quite over. It's been a very, very long season, but the athletes have been excited to compete after being cooped up for almost 18 months. And so we're still looking forward to the ending the season and then take a break and then get ready for next year.
All right. And the World Championships happen next year. Is that correct?
That's correct. Eugene, Oregon. That will take place, I think, around the 15th of July, thereabouts.
Okay. Well, we want to congratulate you, Mr. Sands, and the entire team, just for doing such a wonderful job. You know, I remember my husband and I feeling Olympics withdrawals. That's what we called it, because we had just been so engaged, watching every race, so excited about all the competition. And even though we were proudest of Stevie and Shawnee, I can tell you when those Jamaican girls would win those races, I don't think there was more Caribbean pride than at those times either. So congratulations to you and your coaches, you and the athletes, you and the team. We're continuing to persist despite COVID-19, and we continue to look forward to great things from NACAC. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, and thanks for the forum to allow me to share the story of NACAC and the performances of our athletes.
Of course. Have a great day, Mr. Sands.
Thank you, you too. Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Summer is here, and Shell presents a summer of fun.
Win $30,000 in prizes when you spend $20 in fuel at any Shell location, now through September 10th. Experience incredible hotel stays in the Family Islands and Nassau. Win thousands of dollars in fuel, groceries, and electronic devices. Fuel up today and submit your receipt by WhatsApp, email, and Facebook. Follow us on Facebook for more chances to win with Shell. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're halfway through on this marvelous Monday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Philip Simon. I love the interview with the focus on education segment. I must say, when Clevette says, resilience is a key word, it just kind of, and Mike Sands kind of said the same thing, the indomitable spirit, right, of Bahamians and particularly women. It's really good stuff. We have really good stuff here about the Sunrise.
We really do. And you spoke with that artist this morning, and he was not far off, Rashad Adderley, when he spoke about the fact that, it's the things that challenge us most that give us the things that we need to continue to persist and, again, be resilient. So, yeah, comment in this morning, and I hope that, those of us parents who going back online with these kids, we remember, we got the indomitable spirit. We can be resilient because we need it, Phil. We need that pep talk this morning.
You sound like one of them.
That would be me. I'm talking to myself. But we got more to come in the second half of our show. We're going to be talking with Hubert Edwards and Dr. Vindell Kerr about an upcoming corporate governance workshop.
Yep, and Dr. Ramphal will help us to understand the very serious topic of lung cancer. But hey, let's take a second look with weather at sunrise with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. And your second look at weather at sunrise, we take a look at the tropics. We do have Tropical Storm Ida this morning, and at 5 a.m., Ida was located in latitude 31.0 degrees north, longitude 90.8 degrees west, some 50 miles northeast of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Winds are not down to 60 miles per hour with higher gusts. Rapid weakening is forecast. The system is moving towards the north at 8 miles per hour. And then our eyes are on Tropical Depression number 10. And at 5 a.m., Tropical Depression number 10 was located in latitude 20.8 degrees north, longitude 50.6 degrees west, some 775 miles east-northeast of the Leeward Islands. Winds are now 35 miles per hour, but little change in strength is forecast during the next few days. Tropical Depression number 10 is moving north at 8 miles per hour. And then we have a tropical wave that's expected to emerge off the west coast of Africa later today, and the tropical depression is likely to form by the middle of the week as the system moves west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. This system over the next 48 hours has a 60% chance, but over the next 5 days, an 80% chance of tropical cyclone formation. And then we have a body of low pressure, which is expected to form in the southern Caribbean Sea over the next several days. This system over the next 5 days has a 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation. Elsewhere, tropical storm formation not expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, weak high pressure across the islands, along with Saharan dust, will dominate the weather through the week. In your marine forecast today, those winds variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet today and tomorrow, and they'll be coming east to southeast at 10 to 15, 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet on Wednesday. Tides. You can expect a low tide at 8:03 this morning. Next high tide will be at 2:33 this afternoon. Low again tonight at 9:03. Sunset 7:28 this evening. Rises about 6:50. UV index 9. Your water temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase last quarter The extended look, high pressure continues dominant feature across the island with some Sahara dust. So looking at partly sunny skies, still hot and humid. The chance of a couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm popping up by afternoon. Those temperatures daytime will be in the lower 90s, at nighttime in the upper 70s. Your heat indexes will continue to be in the triple digits. That's a wrap on your second look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey, go inside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Looking forward to catching up with you again soon, my friend. But listen, cancer of the lungs takes more lives every year than breast, colon, and prostate cancer combined. That is an American statistic, but we want to find out more about the disease and who it affects here locally. Here to discuss this with us is Dr. Paul Ramphal. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon. Good morning, Doc. Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
That's a pretty long word. I think we need to start there. Exactly who is and what does a cardiothoracic surgeon do?
Well, a cardiothoracic surgeon is a surgeon who specializes in operating on the organs of the chest. So the chest wall itself, the heart, the lungs, the esophagus, and blood vessels within the chest are all within our area of specialty.
You know, cancer is such a bad word. You know, it just impacts so many people around the world, but lung cancer in particular, what is the difference when we talk about cancer of the lungs?
Well, as you mentioned in your opening, the lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths, basically worldwide. In the areas of the world where we have the best data, or the most reliably collected data, North America, Europe, etc., we see that it exceeds all other cancers in terms of causing deaths per year. Good news is that overall, the rate of deaths is declining slightly in terms of if you get lung cancer, what are your chances of dying? That seems to be improving slightly. However, unfortunately, the overall numbers of people continue to rise in terms of those who contract lung cancer. And this is largely due to the main cause of lung cancer being smoking cigarettes. And the cigarette companies are very effective in their advertising campaigns to try to get people to adopt this very self-destructive practice. And as a result of that, even though we're seeing better outcomes with treatment, better survival of patients who do get lung cancer, we still are getting more and more people on a worldwide basis every year coming down with lung cancer. In the Bahamas, for example, we have an average of about 50 to 60 people per year per 100,000. So about 100 people per year getting or coming to know that they have lung cancer. Unfortunately, most of these patients will only know that they have lung cancer when it has reached a stage beyond which any kind of cure is possible. In other words, advanced disease. And that's the purpose of screening, to get this thing into our radar before it reaches a stage where we can't hope to cure it.
And when you talk about screening, because I was about to ask, I mean, what are the symptoms, of lung cancer? How do you know? Is there potential to know prior to screening? Are there some indicators?
Yes, and as I said, most people who develop lung cancer would have been smoking for many, many years. Although there are situations where people who have never smoked could develop lung cancer. And that's because all cancers are multifactorial in their origin. There are a number of things that can predispose somebody to developing cancer. One of those is genetic predisposition, and we have a lot of research being done on gene issues that lead to the development of various types of cancers. But in lung cancer, we know that smoking is the main causative factor. So if you're a smoker, especially if you smoke more than a pack a day for 20 years, or 2 packs a day for 10 years, or 4 packs a day for 5 years, this is what's called a 20-pack year history. So if you've been smoking a pack a day for 20 years, for example, you're over the age of 40, your risk of lung cancer is going to be significantly increased over the general population. And so we tend to start screening people for lung cancer if they are over the age of 40 and have this background of smoking. But going back just to answer, what are the symptoms of lung cancer? Lung cancer symptoms typically are things like shortness of breath that's developing over a period of months and getting worse. A cough where you may see blood in what you cough up. Weight loss, loss of appetite. Sometimes people have pain in the wrists and the elbows and the joint, the knees, not because of the cancer being present there, but it's known to be an effect of a cancer in the lungs causing the production of certain chemicals in the body that can lead to these joint pains. And sometimes that's the first thing we pick up. But those main symptoms are shortness of breath, a cough, which is persistent, different than usual, and may produce blood on occasion, weight loss, and loss of appetite. These are the main symptoms.
Yeah. Can you recover from lung cancer? I mean, the treatments...
You can recover from lung cancer if it's caught early, okay? The overall survival rate for all people who develop lung cancer after 5 years, the 5-year survival rate is not great. It's only about between 20 and 30% overall. So 70-odd% of anybody of any population who develops lung cancer will not survive 5 years after diagnosis. But if you catch the cancer in early stages, then there is a possibility that through a combination of surgical removal of the cancer, plus post-operative chemotherapy, plus or minus radiation treatment, plus or minus some of the newer types of treatments such as immunotherapy and other targeted cancer treatments that are coming online, we are seeing that you can cure it. And I say plus or minus because everybody is different, and it's a decision that has to be made by the surgeon and the oncologist, who are the people who administer the various medications, as to what particular combination of treatments and drugs are used in each individual patient.
And again, so the best way, I mean, prevention is better than cure, like they say.
Do not smoke cigarettes. It's one of the most ridiculous, self-destructive, health-destroying things that anybody can do. It's not just cancer that it causes. We could talk an hour on the bad effects of smoking on your body, but we only have a few minutes.
Yeah, and those few minutes are gone. Doc, thank you so much for being here on Bahamas at Sunrise.
You're very welcome.
All right, that is Dr. Paul Ramphal. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon joining us here on Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Have you heard about Trinity Christian Schools?
We are a family school located on Trinity Way, Stapleton Gardens. We offer quality Christian education from preschool to grade 6. Here are the reasons why you should choose Trinity Christian Schools.
We offer quality Christian education.
We are a family school.
Our teachers provide individual support.
Our class sizes are small.
We offer a safe and happy environment.
Our teachers are caring and experienced.
Join the Trinity family.
We want you to be a part of the Trinity Christian Schools.
Come join us.
We want you to be a part of our family.
I'm Dr. Wanda Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ranga.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Munish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonami.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Therese Nairn Knowles.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alpheus Alec,
Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the consultant surgeon here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the Director of Imaging at Doctors Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctors Hospital.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctors Hospital.
Emergency room physician here at Doctors Hospital.
and I'm Clinical Director of the Emergency Transport Services and Continuing Medical Education here at Doctors Hospital.
I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I hope you are too.
Are you?
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 Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Now, corporate governance is a system by which companies are directed and controlled. Boards of directors are responsible for the governance of their companies, and shareholders also have a role. It can be a complicated process for some, and so I think you can understand why this process might need some navigating. And here to talk about this, with a workshop aimed at doing just that, we're very happy to welcome Dr. Vindell Kerr. He's the founder at GovStrat Limited. And I think a part of that workshop would also be Hubert, who we know very well from the show. This morning, we're going to be speaking with Dr. Kerr. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Dr. Kerr.
Very pleasant good morning to you, Anastasia, and very pleasant good morning to Bahamas.
Well, we're so happy to have you with us. I just kind of want to learn a bit more about you and what you've been doing. What are you trying to accomplish by providing training and advisory services to corporations around the Caribbean and beyond?
Definitely, excellent question. Historically, our boards in the Caribbean are among the least trained and prepared for the onerous task of directing in the world. And so because of that, we are significantly behind. But with the advent of Enron and other corporate failures, there has been significant push to improve corporate governance worldwide. So even countries applying for loans and grants these days are being asked as one of the items on the due diligence list to provide their corporate governance code. And that happened to Jamaica about 11 years ago, and they were pushed to have to get one developed. So for me, since 2003, nearly 17 years, I have been training boards around the Caribbean, and in addition to that, help them to improve systems and processes from a corporate governance codification perspective. And therefore, that would have helped significantly to improve performance, behavior, and ultimately company bottom line.
Excellent. And I think every company is happy to hear about that, right? Anything that adds to the bottom line is certainly an asset. And what are some of the specific services you and your company, GovStrat, provide?
Well, as a company, we train board of directors and senior executives in all aspects of what they are supposed to do in terms of, from the board's perspective, the board provides oversight and monitoring CEO performance, that is, and it's a complex process and it's highly regulated now internationally and particularly among listed companies and financial institutions. And of course, state-owned enterprises, which form a significant block of boards worldwide. In many of these countries now, training has become mandatory. And where it has not been mandated, because of what I said first in the opening, many of the governments have been pushed to have their boards trained properly. In addition to that, the training follows with a very significant SWOT, a voluminous nature of different codes, code of ethics, board charter, committee charters, etc., etc. And all those
codes and policies are meant to reinforce behavior and also performance. And in terms of their compliance regime, they would have met external compliance regime with respect to regulatory bodies, et cetera, et cetera. And so essentially, through our consulting and training, we seek to improve all aspects of today's modern corporation.
Okay. Now, you've worked across the Caribbean, as you've indicated. What have been some of the biggest challenges you think that you've seen?
Very good. Where boards are concerned, poor attendance, poor performance at the board level, because some of them, when they do attend, they go late, and when they come, sometimes they have not read their board papers. That is a package they would have all received prior. And so performance is very, very poor and remains poor, but has significantly improved in the last decade. The other challenge for some of these directors coming to a particular state enterprise for the first time from the private sector, it is really a different context. And some of them grapple to cope and to abide with the procurement systems. In the private sector, you can give your brother and sisters work, etc. The whole cronyism, nepotism, it depends on who owns the company. You hire just about anyone when you're the owner. When you're running a public body now, it's a totally different thing. They have rules and laws against conflict of interests, inter-party interconnectedness, for example, and no words that affect directors are cronyism, nepotism, and even clientistic relationships. So all those we try to reduce or eliminate significantly when it comes to the governmental sector.
All right. So Hubert Edwards, thank you so much for joining us. Talk to me about some of the events that you guys are going to be doing here on the Bahamas side as it relates to what Dr. Kerr has been speaking with us about this morning.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me, Star. I'll be presenting on one topic, and that is on the nuts and bolts of the board, what the board needs to know for enterprise risk management. Because as you would be aware, in order for a company or organization to be effective, the board has to be effective. In order for the business to run effectively, there must be a clear understanding at the board level as it relates to enterprise risk management. At the end of the day, the board sets the risk appetite, it dictates the risk tolerance, and it really is in the business of monitoring. Ultimately, they are responsible for that. And so the tone at the top is very important. In many instances, when companies get into challenges, it is that the board see themselves more as spectators. They take just about anything that comes from senior management. They don't pay attention. They don't do what is necessary to stay on top. And so we will be presenting on the role of the board, what they need to do, how they need to be sensitized. And it's really not a very deep presentation. It's going to be introductory, so to speak, so that persons can now start to understand. And then hopefully in the future, we will have more deeper discussions and deeper levels of training.
All right. Dr. Kerr, where can persons register for the event and when does it take place?
Oh, well, we have what we call pro bono series happening now. So this evening, there will be a brief moment for corporate secretaries, 3 essentials for corporate secretaries, and tomorrow is the enterprise risk that Hubert spoke to. But the end of September, we have another wider series where we're going to have some workshops, full day, 2 days, etc., all virtual and evenings for board of directors and corporate secretaries in particular. Where can they register for these courses? At corporategovernanceadvisors.com. corporategovernanceadvisors.com. That's our website.
All right. Well, we want to thank you both for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise, certainly sharing the importance of making sure that boards are up to par, right? That they're really leading and directing in the way that they should. And so we hope that people will join you. Of course, they can go to corporate governance. Give me that website again.
Yes, corporategovernanceadvisors.com.
corporategovernanceadvisors.com. Thanks again for joining us, Hubert Edwards and Dr. Kerr.
Thank you very much.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great show, Star, as always. Looking forward to the week, actually.
Indeed. Back to school. That's all I have to say about that. But wishing you all a wonderful week, and we'll see you with more Bahamas at Sunrise on Friday.
Absolutely. See you then.